Okay, so let us chat with Joanna. And I suppose it's perhaps worth double checking. Just make sure that we do in fact have our mastercrafted swords and don't yet have our mastercrafted armor. I'm certain we don't have the mastercrafted armor. I suppose we should have double checked while we were still in Novigrad if we actually had any reason to craft things further with IBR, but I'm pretty confident in that statement. Any random fights gonna break out this time? Doesn't look like it, but I suppose can never quite rule it out. So let's see, Joanna should be over here, and I don't actually remember if she's here 24/7 or if she takes the day off at a certain point in time. Because no, she is still here. No, that's Fergus.
Oh.
Joanna, please.
Geralt, good of you to come by. What can I do for you?
Okay. So, the other thing is we probably don't have the crafting materials required, but let's just take a look here for a second.
Get some armor made. Witcher's armor.
Okay. So, yes, we do need Witcher armor. Actually, interestingly, this is a higher level than the Witcher armor. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. This is... what? Like, is this any good? You have to imagine it's decent for that reason. It's heavy gear, so we probably wouldn't really want to use it ourselves. But it is relic rarity. Does have decent resistances, yes, but I don't know. I think the Witcher armor is still gonna be better than it. So, let's see. What we're really looking for is Mastercrafted, yeah. We are now level 34. We actually do have everything that we need for the Mastercrafted feline boots. And so I think what we're gonna do is we're going to make the Mastercrafted both feline and griffin school gear, because those are the two that we've been most interested in pursuing. And we were asking ourselves, like, maybe, you know, we'll test them both out, see if we do ultimately find that we prefer one over the other, and then maybe at that point we commit to one of them and don't bother to fully upgrade the other. I do think I probably prefer the feline school stuff. It just feels like it's been a more significant upgrade, because our attack damage has been quite good. Quite good. I mean, we've had some bosses that we've annihilated. You know, when we put on our appropriate oil, throw on sometimes an offensive potion on top of that, then we've at times, I mean, dealt, I don't know, maybe half, maybe as much as half of in some cases, bosses' HP in just 1 or 2 hits. That's pretty crazy. Whereas with the signs, we threw on a bunch of gear that gave us over 100% side intensity, and I barely noticed the difference. So that was uninspiring. Maybe we could have gone even further to get even more side intensity, but felt like, you know, if we're focusing on getting the Witcher gear for that purpose, then that should be enough to at least make some noticeable difference, and it wasn't really the case. So maybe we'll still get Griffin stuff as well, but at the very least, we're certainly going to get Cat School, and that is, I believe, what we have equipped right now. So, and also worth noting that once we do upgrade to the Grandmaster level, we will now start getting the bonuses from equipping these sets. So that means if we have 3 for the Cat School, we have strong attacks, increase fast attack damage for 5 seconds by 10%. 10% isn't huge, but it's something. For each piece of the set, hold on, I take it back. That means it could be as high as, what, 60% for 5 seconds? That's humongous. That is huge. Okay. Yeah, that's better than an oil. Combine that with an oil and the additional attack power that you're getting from the base attack power that comes from all the Cat School gear, and that's insane. Then, if we get at least 6 pieces, which I think is the maximum, rear attacks deal 50% more damage and also stun opponents at the cost of 1 adrenaline point. Okay, so we would do a little bit to reduce our adrenaline points, but at the same time, we probably take that trade-off for the absolutely insane damage. I mean, at that point, we're talking we're getting 10% attack power from what looks to be, I think it's going to be all of the Cat School gear, and if there are 6 pieces of it, then that's 60% damage. Then the oil, that's 50 more percent damage, so that's 110. Then, if we look at the first bonus, getting 10% increased damage for 5 seconds after doing a strong attack for all of our pieces of gear. If we have 6 pieces of gear, that's another 60. Bumps us from 110 up to 170. Then if we're attacking from behind, that gives us another 50%. So we get 220% increased attack damage. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now there are some things we need to make sure happen in order to pull that off. We need to do the strong attack first, and then the quick attack does need to happen from behind, but I think that's doable. So I think that's pretty sweet. Let's go for this. And the other question is, what is it going to look aesthetically? That is perhaps the most important question, because I was critical. I was critical of how the feline gear looked. I was not impressed with the base gear. We upgraded it once or twice, and it started to get a little bit better. But I don't know if it's gonna be good enough here. Be stylish enough for Geralt to sport it around town. We'll have to see. But now we're looking for Mastercrafted Feline. Okay, we don't have everything we need for this. Diameridium Plate. I doubt we have that in our stash. We probably need to just create that here. And so we should transition in that case over to making some crafting materials. Yeah, crafting components. Diameridium Plate is what we want. Diameridium Plate, yep. That just takes some ingots, which they are pretty rare, they are pretty valuable, but at the end of the day, this is what they're here for. So I think we take them, and we use them. Was it just one we needed, or was it two? I don't remember. They're valuable enough that I think we probably don't want to make any more than we need unnecessarily. So let's just double check here. We did need two. Okay. No worries. That can be arranged. We'll make it happen. Crafting components. Diameridium Plate. Huzzah. And Joanna, we're probably about to make you very rich from all this crafting we're going to be doing. But chest armor. Mastercrafted Feline, we can now do. Okay, and yeah. Whoa! 20% attack power? Goes up by 5%? That's a lot more than I was expecting, to tell you the truth. I thought everything was going to be just a flat 10%. That's better than what we were seeing from, what was it, the boots that we made initially? So, you love that. In addition to, of course, the increased armor rating and the other resistances, which we weren't paying too close attention to for the boots, but I'm sure that's also the case. But it looks like the difference between Mastercrafted and Superior, which I think was the level we had before this, might be a more significant jump than there was between Enhanced and Superior, which was the previous upgrade that we made. That upgrade wasn't a huge difference maker, but this one looks like it could be a pretty big deal, especially once you consider getting the set bonuses from having 3 or more of a kind. Okay, so that was chest armor. Now if we go gauntlets, we do need more here. Oh, hold on. Not enhance. Not enhance. We're looking for Mastercrafted. Yes, we have what we need for that. So this, yep, gets up to 10% attack power. My guess is that everything else, other than the chestplate, will be at 10% for attack power. That is the most distinctive component of the cat school gears, that it gives you the attack power above and beyond, or well, in addition to the set bonuses, which we will now get, now that we are going with the Mastercrafted set. Alright, so we got those. And now, what's next? Trousers. The Mastercrafted version of those. And for that, we need dark steel ingots. One of them. I think that's a little bit more common. Oh, we can we just, we can actually, oh, we can buy it here, is what we can do. We can't craft it here. I think we would prefer to craft it, because we have the materials and it's a little bit cheaper to craft. So, dark steel ingot, was it? There is also dark iron. I think it was dark steel. Pretty sure it was dark steel. But, we're about to find out. Trousers. Can we make them? Yes, we can. Okay, and again, yes, 10% attack power, in addition to some small resistance upgrades and decent flat armor upgrade as well. Okay, so now that brings us to what? Let's take a look.
Take
I
care.
think that's all of the armor, and aesthetically, hold on. I mean, the lighting is terrible here. It's a stormy weather, but okay. You know, starting to like the cat school gear, the looks of it a lot more, because my issue with the first round, is that it was basically just a sleeveless shirt, and it looked really uninspiring. It didn't look like, you know, some rare, powerful armor. It looked like Geralt just rolled out of bed. Now it actually looks like legitimate armor. So I like that. I like that. And let's just double check on our gear here. Have we forgotten anything? Or are we now at Mastercrafted for all the armor, in which case we'll just go to our stash to pick up the Mastercrafted swords as well. Got it for the chest plate, gauntlets, boots, and the trousers. Yep. So we got full cat gear there. And in some ways, this is almost a better place to check out the appearance of our gear rather than actually out in the open, where got some things obscuring our view and some poor lighting. But while we're here, let's just quickly do some of that. We'll pick up our upgraded swords, which I think we have, and then we'll think about whether we want to upgrade our Griffin School gear as well. I mean, we could potentially do it just so that we have the option of swapping over to more sign-intensive plan strategy. For a second, I thought there was a person there. A little bit concerned. But let's see. So, Eline Sword Mastercrafted. Yep. 80 more damage. That's huge. Then, Griffin Silver. We're looking for Eline, though. Eline Steel Mastercrafted. 64 more damage. That's great. And the crit chance to bleed is not a huge deal. It's mostly the crit that we like there. But there are actually relic rarity swords that will have, or relic and possibly even, what's the level below relic, rare or magic or something like that. There are ones that actually will have better critical hit chance and critical damage. Kind of like Kelmer's Steel Sword, which is why we held on to it for so long when we first got it. That 104% critical hit damage bonus was just amazing for what we were trying to do. So it may actually be possible that we could swap around our weapons a bit, depending on what we find. I'm also considering stashing this, because I don't know, I feel like this might be a one-of-a-kind type of armor. Possibly. We do have a lot of shirts here that we're holding on to, so that we could potentially use them for crafting recipes. We may not need more of them, but we'll dump them just in case. Because sometimes they can be a bit of a pain to pick back up. I think... What? Oh, I was going to say, Gwahir still has more damage than our Mastercrafted swords. No, we picked up our Mastercrafted swords, but we haven't actually equipped them yet. So that's it's a little bit misleading there. That's not comparing to these guys. I think we dump you. Again, you know, this is largely just for sentimental reasons, because we had this sword in The Witcher 1 and relied on it heavily, and so that's kind of cool. Kind of like what we did with Harval. But, you know, we'll just add it to the collection, basically. Oh, and we had some weapons that, yeah, we picked up a long time ago when we fought some enemies that were way out of our league. And so they were level 35 weapons, and we thought, well, maybe one day we'll be high enough level to actually use them, and so we're getting close to those. And in some cases, as you're seeing here, that would actually mean increasing our base damage significantly, but again, that is before we consider swapping over to the actual Mastercrafted gear. That comparison is currently with our lower level Witcher School swords, so that's a little bit misleading. But let's make that switch now, and maybe, well, let's pick up the Griffin School gear. How are we doing for monies? We're close to 60,000, just barely above that. So if we are to craft the upgraded Griffin School gear, then I think we'll definitely drop below that threshold. Superior? Yeah, Superior is the round we're looking to upgrade. I don't remember just how expensive it is. If it's a few thousand, we can make that up. Not instantaneously, but we're making a fair bit of money these days. I mean, we're running out of quests at this point to make that money from, but let's give it a shot. I think it's worth indulging a bit here. This is what we were saving up for in many cases, right? This was the whole idea. We were also, oh, right, we did have the Mastercrafted Wolf gear too, at least for the chest plate. Gives, to compare to our feline armor here, gives better adrenaline points. It is medium armor, so it is heavier. So we'll regenerate our stamina more slowly. We get better adrenaline points, better resistances, makes sense because it's heavier armor. And the armor rating is exactly the same. That's interesting. Okay, so I think we probably do prefer the feline school stuff here. We have a lot of adrenaline point generation right now, and so I don't really think we're in a lot of need of getting more of that. So, I mean, we do have now, I believe, new ways in which we'll be spending those adrenaline points, but we'll test that out, see how that feels before we commit to that. So there's a chance we might also want to try experimenting with the Wolf School gear, but I think that's a whole nother question. Let's climb up on this, and we'll double check just how expensive it was to make the Mastercrafted armor. And if it's not exorbitantly expensive, then we'll probably still make the Griffin School stuff here. Because it would be cool to be able to mix and match the situation. If we feel like we want to focus on doing sword damage, then we go that route. If we want to focus on doing the sign damage, then we can go that route. Just takes a little bit of planning in advance. But that kind of adds a layer of strategy to things, which I kind of like. Let's actually equip the Witcher School gear here, or the Witcher swords that we were just talking about. And in doing so, is that Griffin School, though, or Feline? Hold on. Did I pick up the wrong swords? Did I pick up Griffin instead? There's Feline Mastercrafted. Did we actually equip it? Ursine Superior. Griffin Superior. Feline Superior. Feline Mastercrafted. Okay, there we go. So now I believe we have the full set. What? Must be upgraded to Grandmaster level. Is that actually a level higher than Mastercrafted? I suppose there's Mastercrafted, there's Master, and then there's Grandmaster. How many freaking levels are there? What? Excuse me? Alright, so we don't actually get the bonuses yet. I take all that back. My apologies. I mean, still, think this is probably the way to go here. Again, we like having all the attack damage and some increased crit chance. That perhaps makes it a little bit easier for us to consider swapping out the Witcher School swords for other ones. Because like I was saying, we could potentially find ourselves getting a sword with better base damage and or better crit chance, better crit damage, which are all things we'd like to have. But let's just double check with Joanna.
Good of you to come by. What can I do for you?
How expensive was that to do the crafting
Need some armor
here?
made. Witcher's armor.
So, humor me for a second here. We don't have all the stuff here to get the job done. Really, it only costs $179 to make this. I mean, the boots, I'd imagine, are maybe a little bit less expensive than something like the chest plate. Chest plate's probably the most expensive, so maybe that's the best thing to gauge. How expensive would that be? Mastercrafted Griffin is 1,066. Yeah, so that's the big one. I think in total, you know, like trousers might be somewhere in between what we saw with the boots and the chest plate. But right now we're looking at like 180. Gauntlets, 1,800, I should say. Gauntlets, yeah, like 2,000 in total. And we apparently passed, nope, here are trousers. Might be a little more expensive. No, actually cheaper. So yeah, a little over 2,000, I think, which is right around what I was expecting. So yeah, I think we can handle that. You know, we sold a bunch of the random weapons that we found when we fought those Redanian guards not long ago. That gave us 1,000 or so. So that's about the scale we're looking at here. It's possible to make up that kind of cost. So it is going to be a little bit more expensive than that, though, once you consider, or not feline, once you consider that we will need to create some materials that we may not currently have, like the meteorite silver ingot. So it's probably going to be more like 1,500 when everything's said and done, but I don't think that changes much. So we're looking at meteorite silver ingot here. Let's make that. Meteorite silver ingot. Where'd you go? I think it might be alphabetical. Yep, here we go. It's only 37. It's not too bad. Okay. Sure. And that was for the boots, I believe, right? Mastercrafted Griffin boots. Yep, we can make those now. And so again, the idea here is sign intensity is the theme for Griffin boots, or Griffin armor in general. Okay, now let's check out next on the list, which I think is the armor. It's the big one, the expensive one. We need to make any other crafting materials to actually create it. We do. Ooh, pure dragonite leather is expensive to buy. Do we have the stuff to make it? I think we do. I think we actually do to craft it. I was surprised by crafting materials required to make it. It's something like Indriga hides or some kind of like insectoid scales, which was like, somehow that makes dragonite leather okay. But yeah, this is actually between those and 3 diameridium plates. That's going to add up a bit. Pure dragonite leather to 3 diameridium plates. So, noted. Will I remember that for the beyond the next 2 seconds? Perhaps. Perhaps not. Pure dragonite leather. Yeah, chitinous shell is what it requires. We need... Was it 3 of these and 2 of the other thing, or was it the other way around? I don't remember. We'll make 3 of them both, okay? It's gonna be fine. Don't worry. We'll pay slightly more. We'll pay 78 coins more. This, though, is expensive. I think this might have been the one that was just 2. Okay. And like I said, this is the most expensive piece, for sure. So once we get this made, then we've swallowed the toughest pill, so to speak. Did we forget something? We did get it mixed up. We did get it mixed up. Okay. It's a little bit unfortunate, mostly because that's the most expensive piece, or the more expensive of those 2 crafting materials that we need the additional one of. That's really worse than making a spare draconid leather. Okay. So we got that. Now, let's actually make it. Chest armor. Mastercrafted Griffin. Yeah, this is 20% side intensity, so it seems like the chest plates are always going to be 20% of whatever the theme is of that armor set, and then all the other pieces are 10%. Okay. Got that taken care of, and yes, we are going to drop below the 60,000 mark. Then next would be gauntlets. What do we need there? We actually already have everything. That's good to see. Okay. We'll do that then. Again, 10 sign intensity. Next comes trousers, and I believe that's last. And for that, we need 1 meteorite silver ingot. Okay. 1 meteorite silver ingot, you say? 1 meteorite silver ingot. That we can create. It's this one. Hold on. Hold on just a second. Okay. Cool. That's good. And if we could get through the crafting components and the gauntlets, get back to the trousers, make it to the Master Crafted Griffin trousers. And now I believe we have completed our set for the Griffin gear, both armor and weapons, because I believe, same deal with the cat school, we made the weapons earlier with IBR. We made those all at once. Alright. And let's just throw that stuff on and see what it looks like. But we're probably going to want to ultimately put it back in our stash to avoid carrying an additional a lot of weight. 20 maybe, when it's all said and done. Let's see. So, fashion-wise, what do we prefer? Cat school or Griffin school? Because, I mean, that's the real question that matters, right? Which one looks better? I'll be honest. I don't notice much of a difference here between the previous version of this armor and the upgraded version that we just made. What, maybe a little bit more chainmail? What else? Like, did we have that chainmail by our waist? Pretty sure we had it on our arms, though we actually may have only had the ones on our shoulder, not actually going down to our biceps. I don't know. It looks kind of similar. Not a huge difference. So I think, in that case, I mean, because it doesn't look fashionable enough, let's switch back over to the cat school. Nah, I mean, it's mostly because we probably do prefer the attack damage. What if we mix and match? Ew, gross. I mean, we actually could, because at least on this occasion, when we don't have the... Wait, what? What just happened to the rest of our cat school here? Huh? Oh, there's this. There's this. What about the chest plate? What happened to the chest plate? Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's not drop that there. Let's not drop that one. Okay. No, we'd like to equip that actually. Thank you. But yeah, we could technically mix and match here, given how apparently we're not actually at the point where we are getting the set bonuses. So if we wanted to get a little bit of sign intensity, a little bit of attack damage here and there, or if we wanted to go with the combo that we felt was the most stylish, like that actually looks, I'd argue that looks a little bit better with the Griffin boots there, and maybe I don't know about the pants with the cat top. I don't know. No, that definitely not. Anyways, back to the full-blown cat school stuff. Is that what we have now? This is Griffin. This is Griffin. 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 Okay, that means we have all cat equipped. Yeah, let's head back over. We'll, not there. Back to our stash real quick. Make sure that we actually stash the stuff that we just created for the Griffin school. Because although we would like to use it at some points in time, it's mostly just to give ourselves that option. And at least as of this moment, I think our default answer will be the cat school.
You white one, look like you got soused last night too.
You have the same voice as Dijkstra. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's dump you now. Not the price checking boots. Those are staying here forever. Now, we could potentially deliberately swap over. We were holding on to the superior version of the Bear School Sword, Griffin School Swords, and okay, an old Feline School Sword, sure. But we could upgrade those into the Mastercrafted Swords, or well, we have already upgraded them. I should clarify. We could also hold on to those Mastercrafted versions and continue to have that as something that we could switch to if and when we feel like that's necessary. Again, idea being if we want to prioritize sound intensity over something like attack damage, then we could potentially swap over from the cat school gear to the griffin school gear. It's a little bit easier to do that with the sword than it is the entire armor set. And so we did do that with the superior swords for the bear and griffin school. But do we want to continue to do that for Mastercrafted? I mean, we did it, and it's interesting in theory, but at the same time, I don't think we ever actually made that switch, at least not consciously. So I think for the most part, what we'll do is we'll just keep them stashed here, and if we do feel the need or want to switch over, then it'll take a little bit of time to find our way back over to a stash somewhere, but it'll be possible. It'll at least be an option to us. So I think we do keep those stashed there, and that should make it a little bit easier for us to walk around and loot more stuff. And this is still, this is Croc's sword, right? Pretty sure, so we ultimately do want to give that back to him. Eventually, once we make it back to Skellige. But, that's enough of that. Okay, so, now that we have done that, I think that the next answer is going on the main quest. And after having done everyone's side/preparatory mission of sorts, we are now seemingly convening as a group with the Lodge of Sorceresses at Dandelion's Inn. Now, we were saying earlier that if possible, we'd like to just take a quick little moment to chat with Triss and see if she can inform us about the magic objects that may be some person that has been trapped in a figurine or something. But I suspect that in all likelihood, as soon as we walk anywhere near anyone in that building, we're going to immediately get thrown into a cutscene, and that's no longer going to be an option. We'll try, but it may be wishful thinking. Let's do this before we head out, and let's do this before we head out. And we're looking for a fast travel spot. Do we have anything else to sell? I don't think so, right? Because we basically just stashed a bunch of stuff. And we were mostly just crafting things there. Like, maybe we could, I suppose, sell these trophies. Not a terrible idea. They do weigh a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Hold on to them here. So yeah, I suppose we'll carry on. And we'll find our fast travel spot at the end of Crow's Perch and make our way back over to Novigrad. Anyone gonna pick a fight with us this time? Well, better not, because let me tell you, we have upgraded our armor. We are just ready to get into the thick of things. Yeah? You want to pick a fight? No? Not this time. Not this time. Okay. So we'll head on over. And, you know, fingers crossed that we'll be able to do that side quest, but like I said, we wrote it off. We've already come to terms with assuming that we're probably not going to be able to make it happen. So if it doesn't work out, then we'll live. And so that means Gate of the Hierarch has got to be the closest, right? Okay. Every time I walk by all these guards, I think, are you gonna charge us money? Are you going to let us in at all?
At last! Long live Radovid! Hail the mage hunters!
See, here's the thing, buddy, about that. Hate to break it to you. Then again, I kind of don't hate it. But, yeah, Radovid is, he's no more. Okay, so before we actually walk in here, let's definitely save. Let's definitely save. You are random people who are not part of our crew. Zoltan, can we chat with you by any chance?
Zoltan.
You have anything special to say before we head out? Just do our thing? No, looks like we've already done all our talking with you.
Zoltan.
Nice talking with you. I suppose so. Okay, so can we talk with Triss? That is
Or will you stay longer?
the hope.
It's far safer with you around.
Where is she? I assume she is in here. Dandelion is. Entertainers are. Let's see. Here's as though our quest marker is saying that it's one floor up. So I suspect that means that all of our friends are on the next floor, including Triss, and probably for that reason all the more difficult to isolate her from the rest of the group and get the chance to talk to her specifically. Looks like it's on this floor, but is it? Maybe not. Triss was in, what, like this room, or maybe one room over previously? Oh, she is here. Oh, yes.
Yes, Geralt?
We would like to talk to you about this figurine.
Look what I picked up.
Come on, we have to decompress him.
Okay, do you actually have time to do it? What? What? I mean, I get why when we were running over to save Philippa, you're like, maybe later. But now? I mean, sure, we still have the main quest, but like, we got time. We've got time.
We'll do this later. I gotta go.
Harold? Really? Do you though? Do you really? I don't know about that, buddy. Alright, well, an effort was certainly made. That much can be said. But it does appear as though, assuming that we're just going to have to go straight into that conversation, or well, yeah. I don't know if after that conversation, maybe we could finally get Trista to do it, but it kind of looks like, you know, it's no longer an option at all. Even if we can have that conversation, it just doesn't go anywhere. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but like I said, we kind of already assumed that was the case. It's just a little bit of a tease is all, where it seemed for a second there and a second when we were chatting with Triss on our way over to catch in Philippa, that maybe we still had an opportunity to make it happen. So you did get my hopes up just a little bit when that happened. Or in some ways, I wish it was just like a, no, it's never gonna happen. Just write it off. Rather than, well, we're gonna hint at it. We're gonna make you think for just a second that it can maybe happen and then take it away from you. But anyways, now I believe that means that we're just heading up here, and yes, as soon as we make it up, we've got some talking to do.
Nothing just yet, but something's afoot. Philippa and Margarita want to speak to me.
Okay, CIRI is very concerned. So, let's see. Philippa is not trustworthy, is the first thing you should know. So saying they don't bite is maybe not entirely accurate. Saying not good is maybe the other extreme. So what about?
They say about what?
No, but I have my suspicions. I bet they have plans for me. And they're deigning to inform me of them.
Okay. Alright. So... well, we gotta go with her, right? We're here to help her. I'm not just gonna abandon CIRI. Like, sure, she can probably do it on her own, but she's clearly concerned at the moment.
Not a conversation you're likely to avoid. I'll go with you if you want.
They'll weigh their words more carefully with you there.
Wouldn't be so sure. But two heads are better than one. Let's get this over with.
That is interesting. I do wonder to what extent they'll change what they say, since we're here. Philippa turn into a cat?
To you, not to Geralt.
Oh.
Geralt stays or we both leave.
Let him stay, Phil. He'd learn of it all anyways, eventually. Fine then. So long as he does not...
This is true. I mean, we would have just basically asked CIRI for all the juicy details as soon as this conversation was over, right? But, let's see. You're saying we basically are not allowed to interject at all. Not up to you. Or we're quite literally all ears, no mouth, we can't speak. I mean, we'll tell you that we aren't going to talk. As for whether or not we actually follow through with that, remains to be seen.
Think of me as part of the decor.
If we just stay completely still, they won't see us.
Important plans. Surely you remember.
Oh dear.
You were to complete your studies and become one of us.
Oh
Unfortunately,
no.
that did not come to pass.
Unfortunately for you,
Revive the lodge,
perhaps fortunately for us.
and we renew our offer. You must join us.
Must?
We are saddened our dear sisters Kira and Sheila will not join in this endeavor, but the circumstances preclude any prolonged mourning. What is your decision? Will you join us?
As before, I'm to marry some princeling and become your puppet.
You were a child then, and we misjudged the situation.
Is that so?
This time we offer you a partnership.
Partnership, you say? So, obviously this is just a way in which to use CIRI as a powerful piece, but ultimately a piece for primarily Philippa's political ambitions. Again, I'm basing that largely off the things that Philippa did back in The Witcher 2, but with the law, well, I mean, like, we're technically not supposed to be talking. Are we? Oh, we are CIRI here. Okay, I was wondering if this was actually CIRI talking, or if this is Geralt not abiding by what the promise that he made and interjecting here. But let's see. With the lodge, someone's always in charge. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Is even if you say CIRI is on equal footing with you, even if you say she's an just another member of the lodge, you're pulling the strings behind the scenes. You're the one that's actually running the show here. Where the lodge is wanted by the law, to be on the run again. So this is like, first one is basically saying like, I know that you're actually going to be the boss of me, even if you say that's not true. And then this one is saying, and so, you know, basically I'm just a little pawn to you. Maybe, you know, CIRI's more than a pawn, but she's definitely not the, she's not the king, so to speak. She's not the centerpiece, that, or at least not as important of a role, doesn't have as much liberty as she perhaps should have. Lodge is wanted by the law, he'll be on the run again, is basically just saying like, well, you know, the lodge isn't all that great, because at the end of the day, you're still going to get pursued by everyone. So, I don't know which one here. I guess maybe just say like, Philippa, we know what you're up to here.
No equality in
Oh, this
the
is
lodge.
Geralt.
That's garbage. Some have always taken the reins, while others politely nodded.
A wise and capable sorceress finds the role, the position that best suits her.
And yours should be supreme. You deserve to lead. Realize, please, that you were made for great
Don't trust you for a
things.
second, Philippa.
Work with us and you shall achieve them. Just as soon as we teach you to control your power, channel...
I have Avalok for that.
They're not going to be pleased with that statement.
Allow this. Do you truly believe his intentions are pure?
No, but better him than you. I mean, not gonna lie, that is more or less exactly how I feel. I still don't necessarily trust Avalok entirely. He, as well, is also withholding a lot of information from us. He has started to give us some of the details in terms of how exactly he fits into the bigger picture. He also an Onel elf, and so at one point in time was a member of the Wild Hunt, except does not agree with the methods that Eredin has been using, and for that reason opposes him. Then again, you know, it's not the full picture. There's still some motive that we're missing there. And so he's been, at least in part, using that to inspire him to help CIRI, because CIRI presumably has the best chance of stopping Eredin. Don't trust anyone at CIRI's decision. Leave it entirely up to her. So this is like shutting down Philippa. This is... Well, I mean, both of these kind of are, right? This is maybe, like, more of an insult to Philippa, whereas this is more like, yeah, we just like Avalok. I think if we're playing politics with Philippa, then we kind of have to take this last option here, otherwise we're at risk of losing her. She is a very powerful piece, but she is fickle. We need to be mindful of how we approach things with her. If we come on too strong here, then we could lose her, and I don't think we want that to happen. He is too strong of an ally to have that happen to, but just need to be very
I
mindful.
don't trust him, I don't trust you, but that doesn't matter. CIRI
That is also
decides.
true. Okay.
Sages invariably have hidden agendas.
And you don't?
Altruism is simply not part of their constitution.
Neither is it of
You're a
yours.
tool in his hands, even if you don't see it.
We will assure you knowledge and protection, but you shall be your own rudder, captain, and ship. And unlike Avalok, we can promise you this.
Doesn't mean it's true.
We don't expect you to commit now. Think it over, what you've heard, what you feel. We will speak when you're ready.
If that is all, then...
We need to go to Skellige, find the Sunstone. Avalach awaits down at the port.
Okay. Yen? Yeah, I'm actually surprised Yen was not in that conversation.
I don't know. Don't really want to talk about it. I'm going for a walk.
Yeah, actually though, why was Yen not part of that conversation? She's a member of the Lodge, and obviously the closest member of the Lodge to CIRI. It's kind of strange.